Hello everybody, my name is Christian, and with another update around the corner, it's time to talk about who you should pull in version 4.4 of Honkai Star Rail. I cannot describe how excited I am to finally see Himiko getting an SP. This is one of my favorite characters in HSR by far, and it's clear she is going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with this update. Alongside her, we also see the return of the Fate banner, featuring Rin Tosaka and the King of Kings, Gilgamesh. I think that's his title, I did not double check. Both these two serve as not only strong individual characters, but amazing upgrades for the former Fate teams consisting of Saber and Archer. On top of that, a free Gilgamesh or Archer will be available for all players. Today, we'll be talking about all of that and more, so get ready viewers. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, become a YouTube member down below, and with that said, let's get into it. Let's pause and take a brief word from our sponsor, Gamesco. As Star Rail constantly releases characters better than the last, players won't have enough Jades to keep up. This is where the sponsor of today's video comes in, Gamesco. This is an all-in-one marketplace for all your favorite games and services. They offer top-ups at a more affordable price than in-game, and can even activate your first top-up bonus if you haven't used it already. It's also totally safe, not requiring any of your login information, and having a money-back guarantee. All you have to do is click the bundle you want, put in your server and UID, and your top-up will appear in-game shortly after. On top of all of this, they offer top-ups for more than HSR, having offers for ZZZ, Genshin, Wuthering Waves, and so much more. You can use my link in the description or pinned comment to start saving now. Thank you to Gamesco for sponsoring, and now, let's get back to the video. Let's start with the usual housekeeping for this update. We have already gotten the drip marketing for 4.5. Let's take a look real quick. Oh my god. Yeah, HSR just decided to drop SPs of two of the most popular characters in the game after also dropping a new Blade, Silverwolf, Sparkle, and Himiko, all in the same version. It has never been a better time to be a returning player. You could just pick up a new version of your favorite character, my god. Keep these two in mind if you're fans of them, as Aventurine being Elation is pretty interesting, and Robin being a new Remembrance could be huge for the current mono-rem team. Final note is, as I previously mentioned, we will be seeing Gilgamesh and Archer being given away for free this update. If you already have Archer, his E1 is incredibly comfy for his team, and is only a benefit for your rotations. Gilgamesh, on the other hand, is a powerful character who will find his best use next to Saber. While I wouldn't personally recommend him without owning Saber, he definitely has some main DPS potential for those interested. Now, we can finally get to the main event, the character I'm most excited about by far, Himiko Nova. Himiko Nova is a Fire Erudition 5-star, actually matching her standard counterpart, much like the Herda and Mini Herda. This is by no means the same old Himiko, however. Himiko Nova is a supercharged beast of a character, with one of the most unique mechanics I've seen in this game to boot. Himiko has access to a new mechanic called Assist Skills, which is linked to her goddamn Gundam-style mech, Starblazer. When Himiko starts the battle, Starblazer will enter the fray as an additional damage option for all characters. Every member of her team can use assist skills, including her, and they will deal massive damage to all enemies on the field, while also having bonus effects depending on who triggers the skill. This is either Companion Protocol Verdict, or Companion Protocol Decimation. Keeping it simple, the first one massively buffs Himiko, and the second one massively buffs the entire team. Which one you want will be entirely dependent on who you end up running alongside Himiko Nova. With assist skills explained, we can now move on to the rest of her kit. Himiko's skill is pretty simple. It's a 3-turn boost that buffs ally damage dealt, while also restoring your assist skill uses. Himiko will also passively regenerate one of these uses every turn, so keep that in mind for your rotations with her. This now takes us to Himiko's ultimate, We Too Stride the Stars. Himiko will jump into her Gundam and unleash hellfire upon the enemies, decimating them with an onslaught of powerful laser blasts, culminating in one big final hit. This is aura farming at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. This ult is just absolute chef's kiss. Within this ultimate and her traces are ways to increase the damage even higher, allowing for a playstyle strong enough to contend with both AoE and low target fights. Overall, Himiko Nova is a character who will excel in pure fiction and will be incredibly strong overall for a while. She is likely to fall off in the future without any other Express teammates, but general supports are still more than enough boost to keep her meta relevant going forward. Usable Himiko Nova if you want a great all-around character and have any invested Astral Express characters. She is a great pickup overall, but her value will skyrocket with things like E4 Welt, Sunday with Light Cone, and DHPT. Similarly, Any strong invested support will also pair wonderfully with her. Himiko is a character who can go far if you're willing to invest. It can be into her or her team, but any investment will genuinely help a lot. She's also staying around the whole update, so you have plenty of time to make that choice if you want to. With Himiko done, we now move on to part 2 of the Fate collab, something I feel like not many people saw coming. It seemed as though the Fate collab would disappear from the game by the start of version 4.x, but instead, it has revived itself with even more characters and completely new ways to enjoy these collab characters. Both Saber and Archer now get a new best-in-slot partner from this banner, and that is honestly pretty insane to see. As a quick reminder, the Fate collab was set to open on July 24th, so you'll have to wait until the second half of the update to pull for these characters. Now, let's start with who I think is the stronger of the two characters, the master who can't operate a DVR, Rin. Rin is a Quantum Erudition 5-star, and is probably the most versatile character of this update. She has the ability to be a perfect sub-DPS for Archer, while also excelling on her own. She also manages single-target combat well, while dominating AoE fights as well. A truly well-rounded character with a flashy and impressive moveset to boot. There's quite a bit to explain with both Rin and Gilgamesh, so just stay with me here as best you can. First of all, Rin increases skill points just like Archer and Sparkle. Yes, that does in fact mean you can boost skill points in this game by 6. That is cooked. Moving on, Rin's damage potential is linked primarily to the use of skill points. She can either use skill points to do damage on her own, or she has another mechanic that's unique. For every skill point used, Rin will gain 2 gem energy. When she has 15 points of gem energy, her skill will be enhanced into Second Magic Experiment. This attack will unleash additional hits on the enemy for every 3 gem energy you have saved up, capping out at 11 extra hits. This is incredibly powerful, and just to address the elephant in the room, yes, this works with Seredra since it is a damaging skill. That, my friends, is horrifying. She can also unleash this flurry without gem energy too. If you have more than 7 skill points, you will fire off shots until you reach 2 skill points left. Once again, very powerful, and you will accumulate gem energy for this, allowing you to continue to wreak havoc on your next turn too. This is a character who in the right hands is an insanely powerful DPS character, and we aren't even done talking about her yet. Rin's ultimate is a move that does damage to all enemies and does more damage to one designated target. It will also regenerate a skill point and increase damage taken by all enemies on the field. Her ultimate will also grant her 12 gem energy, meaning Jesus Christ almighty, it is going to be very easy to do massive damage on her skill. Last part of her kit to talk about is something we haven't seen in quite some time, a joint attack. When Archer and Rin are partnered together, this joint attack becomes a possibility. These two will unleash a powerful attack that not only damages all enemies, but once again restores skill points. This is genuinely ridiculous. This team is an SP printing machine with essentially no downtime. I am truly shocked at how efficient of a character that Rin is. She not only holds devastating individual power, but actively enhances one of the better characters in the game back into dominant status. This character is easily one of the best you'll see going forward with her versatility and strength, and I cannot recommend her enough to all players. You should pull Rin if you have Archer or need a multi-talented DPS. Rin main DPS isn't quite as flexible as Himiko, but she will dominate hard if you have Sparkle and Seredra on your account. Similarly, if you're a devoted Archer player, this is the pickup to make if you want to make him the best version of himself. The dual DPS comp will be unbelievable going forward, and should be the way any player with a full Archer team invests for the future. Now, let's move on to Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is a Lightning Destruction 5-star, and he is pretty unique to say the least. As a character meant to back up Saber, he has his work cut out for him, with Saber notoriously being one of the least supported 5-stars in HSR. Whether he's cracked up for the job remains to be seen, but for now, let's look into his moveset. Gilgamesh is a skill-based DPS with a powerful ultimate to boot. Starting with Gil's unique mechanic, he can accumulate points of interest whenever an ally attacks. When interest reaches 10 for the first time, Gilgamesh will be able to use his skill Gates of Babylon for the rest of the battle. After using this skill, his stacks will reset, meaning you'll have to build them back up. You can also gain interest through allies using their ultimates, and this will regenerate energy for Gilgamesh as well. A pretty unique character with a lot of possibilities, I feel, since ult spamming characters are likely going to be very good for him thanks to the energy regen. There's definitely some potential there, but moving on, let's talk about his ultimate. Gilgamesh will summon Enuma Elish and do massive damage to all enemies on the field. This is incredibly powerful, and the reason why he regenerates so much energy. Last note for Gil is that he has a joint attack just like Ren. When he and Saber are partnered together, a tally will appear above his ultimate. When these two units combine for 8 attacks, their joint attack will be unleashed. Saber will regen energy, Gilgamesh will gain points of interest, and it will do massive damage to all enemies. Much of Gil's usefulness is specifically tied to Saber, unfortunately. But there is some room for him to be played solo. Thanks to his powerful ultimate and unique energy regen, playing him with a character like Mordenak's Blade will unlock his power a pretty insane amount. While definitely not the premier character of this update, he is by no means bad for most players. You should pull Gilgamesh if you want Eidolons. This is a free character as a reminder, and while I will talk about Archer Eidolons later, if you own Saber, this should no question be your pickup for this update. His light cone is also available if you have 200 pulls to spend, which allows you to get anything else you may want. In reality, you should mainly pull him for Saber and that's about it, so keep that in mind going into the future. That wraps up our new characters for today, so now it's time to move on to our reruns, and we have some pretty interesting choices available. On banners, we have Sparksy, DHPT, and Evernight available first half, and Seredra, Anexa, and Aventurine available second half. This is, quite the collection of characters, admittedly. Sparksy makes sense since Elation has been getting their immediate reruns as expected, so she was a given. Evernight, yeah, Monorem has been coming back slowly, and with the new Robin being announced, Evernight will likely be a good partner there. DHPT has been gone for a while, so seeing him again is awesome. Seredra, Anexa, and Aventurine on the other hand. These are interesting. Seredra just had a rerun in version 4.0, so to see her back so fast is a little weird, right? Well, she may just have some synergy with our new friend Rin. Very devious release choice by HSR, but I respect it. Anexa and Aven though, yeah, I don't really get it besides just it's their government mandated turn. Aven was just released for free and a better preservation is available in this update, so that's just a little weird. Anexa, while not a bad character, is just weird to see him back at such a random time. I have to imagine they want to release him at the same time as Seredra, so people have to pull for them together. Either way, a big mixed match of characters here, and considering I've talked about some of them fairly recently, I will be cruising through some of these rerun sections. Stick with me here as we start with the people streamer, Sparksy. Sparksy is a Fire Elation 5-star released in version 4.0. She exists as probably the worst Elation DPS right now, but that's like saying you're the worst swimmer in the gold medal race at the Olympics. Still pretty damn good. Sparksy's mechanic, as a shock to no one, revolves around spamming skill points. Her enhanced basic, Bloom Winner Takes All, can be enhanced up to 20 times and will do blast damage to enemies. She does this by spamming engagement farming. Every use of this will not only increase the damage multiplier, but can also trigger one of two effects. You either gain 1 punchline, or 2 punchline and 2 skill points. So realistically, yes, if you are lucky enough, you could get to 20 just from using engagement farming. Pretty insane gameplay, am I right? Her Elation skill is also pretty helpful for her main damage output, granting you 2 points of Thrill whenever it is used. Thrill essentially offsets skill points, allowing Sparksy to still gamble without wasting any. Overall, the rest of her kit is pretty stock standard, with her also having a trace that rewards her with more punchline and thrill if you have more Elation characters on your team. Sparksy is definitely a small step behind the other Elation DPS in my opinion, but to call her bad would be incorrect. She is still a complete powerhouse with great investment options that will supercharge her a lot. She also gets a new skin this patch, so hey, you can have her decimate enemies in this sleek new style. You should pull Sparksy if you have Silverwolf level 999 or are willing to invest in Sparksy. Right now, Sparksy holds the most value alongside Silverwolf. She has free reign of the skill points basically, and can still output massive damage overall. This is a great landing spot for her, but if you would rather make her the main DPS, Yao Guang of course is going to be a necessity, and I would say a little investment into Sparksy will help her out a lot, with her having pretty good early Eidolons. Just don't run Sparksy with no Yao Guang. I'm pretty sure an Angel will lose their wings. Next up on the list is Danheng PT. Danheng PT is a physical preservation 5-star released in version 3.6. In this day and age, a good sustain is always needed every once in a while, and DHPT answers the call pretty often. His flexibility and strength are hard to match, with him getting far more respect as the general sustain the game needed compared to Hyacinth. While his moveset is pretty simple, this doesn't make him bad in any way, as you'll soon see. Let's start with his talent, Of Virtue Forms Unfold. Danheng will make one target the bondmate, granting them his Soul Dragon. Soul Dragon will be linked to this character, granting them buffs and moving independently to grant shields to the whole party. The basis of this entire kit is Soul Dragon and how it works, and it ends up being very powerful thanks to that simplicity. Soul Dragon will advance its action every time the bondmate attacks, meaning both fast and slow characters can benefit from this dragon. DHPT will also gain energy when the bondmate attacks, allowing him to trigger his ultimate even without acting. His ultimate, named A Dragon Zenith Knows No Rue, will enhance Soul Dragon to do follow-up attacks when it moves, dealing massive damage to all enemies for 2 actions. DHPT is simply everything you can need in a sustain. He's SP positive, easy to build, and extremely portable, allowing him to be played in most teams with ease. This is the best preservation in the game, and a contender for best sustain overall. You should pull DHPT if you need a good sustain. Huohuo, Hyacinth, and DHPT are the top sustains in the game right now, and with DHPT being the only shielder, I genuinely do think picking him up right now is a wiser choice than not. He has his own unique scenarios where he excels compared to the healers, and he can be the most flexible in my opinion. Overall, a fantastic choice for any player going forward. Next up is Evernight. I really wish I had more fun taglines, but I've been doing these for a while, man. I can only do so much. Evernight is an Ice Remembrance character released in version 3.6. She serves as a main DPS sub-DPS hybrid for Remembrance teams. Evernight has a lot of mechanics to talk about, so I'll try and be quick. Evernight's memo sprite is Eevee. Eevee and Evernight generate stacks of Memoria, an Evernight exclusive mechanic that will increase damage and speed. When you have at least 16 stacks of Memoria with Eevee on the field, Eevee will action advance 100% and detonate, doing massive AoE damage. Evernight can enhance all of her abilities even further when she uses her ultimate. This ultimate grants Evernight the Darkest Riddle state, which increases damage taken, damage dealt, and greatly improves Eevee's damage while granting more Memoria at the same time. This state is a massive boost for Evernight and is a priority to keep active as much as you can to maximize your damage output. There are a lot of interesting notes I missed, like how Evernight can regen energy from allies, or you can action advance her past Eevee to increase her Memoria even more, but overall, that's what you need to know about Evernight. You should pull Evernight if you want a good DPS, you have an incomplete mono Remembrance team, or you want to pair her with the new Robin SP. With Robin being Remembrance, it is extremely likely that Evernight will pair very well with her, since Evernight is not only a DPS, but a pseudo buffer. She is still in a pretty good spot with amazing investment options, so don't be scared to take the dive on Evernight. You likely will not regret it. Now we move on to the second half banners, and politely, we will be talking about Aventurine now, since there is little reason to pull him in current day. Aventurine is an imaginary preservation 5-star released in version 2.1. It is version 4.4 when this rerun is occurring, and 2 stronger sustains exist already. Huohuo is also fully available in the shop with a Nova Flare to boot. No matter how you slice it, there is no reason to get Aventurine except if you want him. Even then, it is far more smart to simply save for the new Aventurine coming out in version 4.5. This character is outdated, plain and simple. Please, 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 just skip Aventurine and get the Summer SP instead. Your account will thank you. Now, let's move on to the most interesting character of this half, the lesbian chess master herself, Seredra. Seredra is a Wind Harmony 5-star that was released in version 3.5. She has a niche that is completely unlike anything else in HSR, even almost a full version later. She has the ability to increase skill damage and duplicate a character's skill, meaning the attack will go off twice. She does this with her unique status, Military Merit. This status needs 6 charges to change into Peerage, which will allow you to trigger a skill attack twice. No one in HSR can do this besides her, and despite how niche this is, her best characters are quite good with her specifically. There's Finon and Anexa who already really love Seredra, but now with Rin on the horizon, she will likely have another character to assist for any main DPS Rin wanters out there. To see Seredra finally getting some more characters potentially is awesome, as her skill set is so underutilized it hurts. While definitely not the general support that somebody like Mordenak's Blade is, no one can beat her at her best, and that's a fact. You should pull Seredra if you own Anexa or Finon, or if you want to run Rin as a main DPS. She is almost essential to making any of these characters their best selves, so hyper-focus on getting her for them if you can. These teams will be so much better because of it. Last but not least, the man whose hips don't lie, if you know you know, Anexa. Anexa is a Wind Erudition 5-star and has one of the more unique concepts in Star Rail. He is a character who is capable of consistently applying additional weaknesses to enemies, similar to Silverwolf. This effect can also be triggered with only his basic attack instead of requiring a skill. When Anexa has enough weaknesses on a target, a state known as qualitative disclosure will trigger. This increases damage taken from Anexa, and he will automatically trigger an additional usage of his skill for free when doing any attack to a target in this state. This increases damage taken from Anexa, and he will automatically trigger an additional use of his skill for free when doing any attack to a target in this state. His ultimate is also capable of applying every weakness to all enemies on the field and putting his enemies in the sublimation state, making it so that they can't take action. Yeah, he's got a lot going on to say the least. Anexa as a character is probably one of the most overall useful in HSR. He has devastating power only made better by Seredra and Cyrene, and has proven to be adaptable to anything the game throws at him. While initially being a character intended to be a support for the Herda, he's gone far beyond this, and has become a great character all on his own. You should pull Anexa if you are willing to invest in a unique DPS. Anexa value has kinda dropped off a bit, not because he's bad or anything, he just isn't as good as all the newer characters. If you're willing to get him, Cyrene, and Seredra though, he elevates himself well into being an elite character again. Keep that in mind when pulling, as many more AoE characters are available this patch. Finally, that's all the reruns done. This was a lot of characters to cover, and as per usual, we now have our wonderful investment section to do, where I teach you how to not be dumb. Let's start with the most obvious choice to make, Gilgamesh or Archer. If you do not have Saber on your account, get Archer E1. It is a massive help and will only make playing him better. You can then spend if you want to get Archer E2, which is another wonderful boost that will elevate him and his team to another level. If you don't have his light cone, however, grab that first. It's pretty damn important. Now, our first rerun character, Sparksy. Elation has pretty poor substitute light cones right now, and Sparksy's is what offers her additional skill points to use. This is massive for her, and as such, should be your priority. After a light cone, E1 and E2 are both great boosts, with E2 especially being powerful. Next up, DHPT. DHPT's light cone is really comfy for him, while also offering a nice damage boost for his team. His E1 is incredibly solid, so you really can't go wrong either way. I think personally, I would say go for his light cone, as it gives him access to healing, and it makes him specifically better. Evernight is pretty simple. E1 is the best investment by far, as it increases her and her team's damage a fair amount. Light cone is pretty important for her energy rotations, so while I would still recommend that, her E2 is genuine drugs, making Eevee far more deadly and essentially solving uptime issues. Evernight is just great to invest in, you can't really lose here. Seredra's best investment is pretty easily E1, and nothing else really matches that value. If you have that Eidolon, moving on to your next character to invest into is a valid option, with Light Cone and E2 really not holding the same weight. Aventurine Light Cone is very, very nice for him, and basically essential if you want to get use out of him nowadays. E1 and E2 are both good upgrades for him, but I stand on my point, just get DHPT instead. Lastly is Anexa. Either get him his cone or a third of light cone, and then invest in his teammates. Anexa E1 and E2 are good, but pretty underwhelming compared to other DPS units. As a character who needs his support so badly, his own investment should be your absolute last priority in every single scenario. And with that, we are done for today. Big patch this time around with a lot to talk about, but I think I managed pretty well. I personally am very excited about the coming update, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Tell me down below what you guys are doing this update, and if you need any help. Thank you all so much for watching. I've got plenty more good videos coming out soon, so I will see you guys then. Bye bye!